Hey everybody, it's Anthony at Gravitee, and today I'm going to tell you a little bit about the new Gravitee developer portal and just do a quick demo of some of the changes that have come into APIM 4.7. And in this version here, what I've done is I've created a portal for a fictional company called Lender Data, which is a fictional company that sells data to financial institutions making lending decisions. And in this case, I've done some light customization to the portal. So it's got just a little bit of custom CSS layered on top of the out-of-the-box configuration. And it's very easy to do that. So we're very excited to see these types of portals out in the wild. We've got a few already that we're excited to share. And in 4.7, I've done a small change here wherein we now have the ability to switch between the catalog view being tabs, or excuse me, the categories view being tabs, or the categories view being a tiles like this. And so in this case, I'm going to go ahead and click on this credit category here. And when I come in there, I'll see the APIs that are a part of this category. And let's say I click on this credit risk API. I come to the API homepage here. Now, here what I've got is first and foremost the details page. So I've got the homepage for my API that describes what it is at a high level. And this is just regular markdown page here. And then I can look at the documentation for this. And I can have multiple documentation pages. But in this case, I've just got an open API spec for this document, for this API. And I can see exactly how I can consume from this API. In this case, I'm using Redoc as the API viewer. And then I can look at my subscriptions. Now, in this case, I'm the admin user, so I can see multiple applications. A lot of times, you might only see one application, or maybe just the applications that you belong to. And in this case, I've got a subscription for the first application, which is the default application. So here I've got the API key and the curl command for that application. And then I've got the same thing here for the other application. And now, let's say I'm going to make some calls to this API. So I can go over to my API spec and I can see what the endpoint is that maybe I want to call to get data for this API. Now I've gone ahead and loaded those API keys into my terminal here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make two calls to this API, one for each application, and show the logs for that call for each application separately in the portal. So let's go ahead and make a call with that first API key. And when I do that, I'll get a response back. And then I'll do the same for the other API key representing the other application, and I'll get a response back. Now, if I go back over to my portal here and go over to the applications page, this is where I'll see all the applications that my user belongs to. And if I come in here, I'll start by seeing the analytics and logs for the application. So I can see here the request and response for that specific request entry that I'm looking at. I can see the headers that were sent and the request and the response, and I can also see the body that was returned for that request. Now, you can configure what you actually show here when you configure logging for the API, but in this case, I've just got everything logged here. So I've got the request and the response. I can also view the settings for this application here. So I've got the name as well as the OAuth configuration in case this application uses OAuth. But in any case, I looked at that for the first application, and now if I go back to my list of applications, I can also see the same data here for the other application. So anybody who's logged in for their own client making their own calls is going to see separated data specific to just their requests. Just a few other things I've got in this portal. I've got some custom links here on the landing page. I've even linked to a page within the portal here. So if I click on this, it'll take me directly to a page here where I've got my guides data. These are just global documentation for this portal where I can see, okay, who is this company? What data do I need to know? And then like what are the terms of service, for example, that I've got in this portal. And I've also got links up here at the top. So these three catalog guides and applications are there by default, but I can also put a custom link here, for example, to my support portal if I use Zendesk, for example. So that's just a quick walkthrough of the new developer portal, and we look forward to seeing what our customers are doing. Thanks.